out that you feel like might have changed your career, might have changed your life?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting on a couple of those.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, Quiet Storm Lovers I'm just scratching the surface.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like this new project, the new body of work, the way it feels, the way it sounds. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. You know what I mean? So
20 years later, that's
yeah.
crazy.
So absolutely, like this is a career path for me. Like you know, the main thing is just praying for more time and health, which is the greatest wealth. To see it, to enjoy it too. You know what I mean?
DTLR Radio, your fashion, your lifestyle, your music, you're plugged in with Fadam. Got the juice live from the Unruly Spray Ground studio. As usual, you know how we do. And today I got a really, really, really dope special guest in the building. Now, y'all know I'm a fan. First of all, y'all know I'm a lover boy. First of all, always gonna be a lover boy. And I'm a fan of a man who's contributed to the Lover Boy playlist for the last 20 years of my life. Easy, man. Mr. Raheem DeVaughn is in the building, man.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
How are you?
Man, I'm feeling blessed and favored, thankful, gratitude, all those things.
Now, Raheem, we didn't get to cross paths back in them days, but I heard you attended the Coppin State University at one point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Actually, when it was Coppin State College.
No doubt, yeah, for sure.
I was also a student once upon a time at Coppin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh, you know Raheem when he was there for real? And I must have just missed you, but it was always the talk of Raheem being at Coppin.
Yeah, for sure.
Always that talk. So I want to say salute that, man.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. I had the opportunity to, represent them and was on campus recently doing some shopping for my HBCU honors awards, wardrobe, appearance, and so shout out to Coppin State.
Man, the campus look way different now.
Yeah, no doubt.
It looks way different.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about 20 years ago. Where did you see yourself being around this long?
Absolutely. I mean, that was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That was the goal. That was the vision. And you never know how the cards are gonna be dealt. You know what I mean? You just always put your best foot forward, and and being focused and diligent and all the things, patient and all the things you need to be to get to where you set off to get to. But yeah, it's amazing from my first day at Coppin, joining a singing group and then being there. I was only there 3 semesters before dropping out to pursue music full time, and it definitely played a major role. And Baltimore played a major role in the shaping and the molding of me as an artist. I would say just as much as being down the road, PG County and DC did as well.
Now, you definitely left a legacy. Only 3 semesters. I think I did the same amount. Yeah. Before I was just like, all right, I got to figure this life thing out. Maybe the school thing ain't quite for me. But I definitely still kept a good love for Coppin and that whole collegiate experience. So, wanted to say salute to that. Because, I don't know where I would have been without that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That experience was definitely needed.
Yeah.
And I encourage everybody, even if you go for a semester or 2, go to college just for a little while.
And just the fact that we stayed in the first ever, maybe at the time, co-ed dorm.
Man. Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Medicine, things going on in there.
A co-ed dorm, man.
We broke that in.
When I say, nothing like, shout out to Dedman Hall.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Dedman Hall. Now, when I moved on campus, I stayed in Daly, but it was still co-ed. It was still a co-ed dorm, and I'm like, I don't know if it's still co-ed, and that probably still is co-ed.
Somebody walked up on me last night.
For real?
They was like, do you remember me from Coppin?
Wait, at the spot?
At the spot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man. He was like, oh, no. What? He like, what do we do?
Yeah, I was like, no, I can't say that I do, but.
Do you get I'm sure you get a lot of that. Just do you remember me? How you deal with that?
I just tell them turn around and walk away real slow.
Hey, there you go. Oh, I like that.
As they turn around and walk away real slow.
Like, yeah, I remember you.
Yeah.
Now come
turn
back.
around.
Let's
and
talk
when you
about
turn around and walk away, walk away slow, so I can get a great.
Now, I remember being a youngin', man, when the Love Experience came out. What was your mindset when that album, like that album, first of all, was a classic. I remember, I specifically remember you doing Jazzy Summer Nights one year. It was Hopkins Plaza.
Yeah.
And there was a movie. I was like, traffic was crazy. You couldn't, it was hard to get in. It was just, because this album was just, that belief. I remember Tremaine driving DTLR truck singing this Believe song all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was one of them.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those days of that.
Creating the album, I was working on that album while I was still part of two groups, Urban Ave 31 and the Crossroads, and I was also, at that time been under the tutelage of DJ Jazzy Jeff, so I spent a lot of time in Philly, and I was also working really heavily under my management team's production company as well, Backwood Productions, and shout out to Cliff Jones and Jerry Vines, who were like the main unit that like discovered me, you know what I mean, and put me on the road with Genuine as a background singer. So while all that stuff was going on, I was working on these stash of songs or records that I wouldn't necessarily want them to be sold, you know what I mean? But if somebody came along and said, hey, we want to buy this record, I probably would have sold it, you know what I mean? Which went on to be like the Love Experience album. So when I did the showcase for Job Records in 2002, it was like more of a stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready situation that I was in, because I had a plethora of songs I had already recorded. I already knew, I knew I possessed a very unique skill set, and that whatever I was part of or wherever I would land, as a solo artist or whether that's contributing to someone else's art, that I was, I consider myself an asset, not a liability. You know what I mean? I feel like even in life, you just either an asset or liability. So I always make sure that I knew how to keep myself, make myself in demand, make sure that I was in demand.
You would have sold the Love Experience album?
Not the album in its entirety, but I was a songwriter back then too.
Gotcha.
Probably one of my first major placements was on Heather Helly's album, which went gold. That was my first gold plaque. You know what I mean? So back then you had you struggling. You're a songwriter. You're just jumping off the porch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean with it, and great songs are made to be written first and foremost, and sang by other people, and some are sang by you, and you know what I mean. Like so, even now I got a stash of I got a stack of vault of records. I was in the studio, but this morning it's about 5-6 in the morning.
God,
you know what I mean? Like,
even after the event last night.
Yeah.
You went
I went straight to the studio. I had some I was eager to finish. I had started the night before, and I'm big on like not leaving things unfinished. You know what I mean? So. So it was a great night. It's been a great week in the studio for me, actually.
I do want to salute to you, the team, Ron. Man, last night was a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last night was a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It was. I feel like it was what we needed to get the people in the room like that. Number one, number two, just a nice intimate setting.
Yeah.
It was just the music hit, like it just, and you got some slaps on there.
Thank you, brother.
What was the thought process of this project?
Dude, Slap City.
Slap City.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was just like, and I had heard some of the project already.
I said I'm gonna give him a can of whip.
I feel like this was a sneaky project that you dropped.
Yeah, no doubt. It definitely was. It was, but it's needed right now. I call Quiet Storm Lover 2 May Un the Slow Jam album of the year.
And I can see why you call it that.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has that feel and that vibe to it. And we need that. Like, when you need some good date night music.
Yeah, for sure.
When you in the car with your lady.
Yeah.
When y'all driving down 295.
Yeah.
When y'all driving through the city, sunroof open. Like, this
Yeah.
this is going to be one of them now. It ain't no, what can I turn on? It's just like, I know exactly what to turn on.
For sure.
I know what exactly to turn
Yeah.
on. How long it took you to do this album?
Oh, man, it was... I put it together. Once I decided that I wanted to put out an album, it kind of morphed from like an EP to an album, and I don't even like either one of the titles. I like to just call them projects at this point, at this stage in my career. The majority of the songs were already recorded. I want to say probably every song on the project was recorded already. So it was just a matter of just going in the vault and curating something that I felt like, I start to figure out, and when I'm doing the body work, what song complements this song, what song complements this song, and then there's a storyline that then comes, come to fruition, and then tweaking, and what should the order be, and that type of thing, and leaning on not just myself but the team, and listening private listening sessions where people can have an opinion beyond just my opinion, you know.
I imagine that being a tough situation because I know, just like you said, you went to the studio last night, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that you probably left off a nice amount of music.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to have more than 10 tracks. You know what I mean? Most of your nostalgic albums are 9, 9 tracks, and I think that's where we actually are at. You know what I mean? Which is interesting too, because all the greatest albums in the world only had 9 joints.
Oh. What's in your greatest albums of the world that had 9 joints?
Oh, Quiet Storm, Lover, Two Mate.
Oh, there you go.
By Raheem DeVaughn, for sure. Thriller had 9 albums, 9 tracks. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maxwell Pretty Wings album, which is fire.
Classics.
Yeah, I feel like that's his best album. One of his best albums to me. Yeah, it's a couple out there. You'd have to kind of like run through them. I don't want to, but I know that there are a lot of nostalgic albums that have like just the 9 joints.
Got you. What's your love with Philly? I know you said you was going back and forth to Philly back in the day. I remember seeing you live in Philly at my man Active's Chill Vibe. This might have been fresh out the pandemic.
Yeah.
Active did a joint outside. Like I think it was like right outside the Punch Bowl or one of them joints.
Yeah. We actually moving around doing those all around the country now.
The Chill Vibe. I listen, him and Mike stay like they're my guys.
Yeah.
They're my guys, and whenever I see it pop up, either I'll talk to them first or they'll call me and say, Fadam, come on, we doing Chill Vibe. Because they know I love and appreciate that whole vibe, what y'all bring with that, right? So I'm just like, yo, what's your love? I was like, man, Raheem loves some Philly, man. How did you get so...
I mean, I think it started with the music. You think about like Gamble and Huff, and what they created, and Teddy Pendergrass and just all the artists out of Philly and then like DJ Jazzy Jeff kind of created that next wave of that with his production companies, and then the success of Jill Scott and Music Soul Child and Bilal and just all these different artists, Vivian Green, like all these artists were just like
they got an all-star team.
Yeah, they got an all-star team of like artists that just came out of like Philly, even the poets, and then of course like the Roots, which I call the hip hop. The Roots are my hip hop Rolling Stones. Like they're the equivalent of the Rolling Stones, but the hip hop version of that for me. And so I was one of those folks that always like read the packaging, read the credits, wanted to know who did what and who did the live strings, and one day I'm gonna get Larry Gold to do live strings.
There we go.
On the album, what I mean. There's a jam or two on this new album that Larry string orchestration is on.
And you said them strings ain't cheap.
Yeah, the strings ain't cheap. You know what I mean?
Strings ain't cheap.
Yeah.
You think the DMV music scene is slept on?
Absolutely. I think that there's for the independent artists, I think it's gotta be more consistent in terms of like, just like you put out. I mean, it might sound crazy, but I understand we're in the era of digital real estate. So if the artists were going hard, or like with a passion of say like a La Russell in terms of the work ethic that he's had with his career, even in his biggest moment of being misunderstood and wanting to be overstood and all of that, right? Not to get right into that, but in terms of like the work that he's put in and the way that he has loved on his community and the way that he's created community and a safe space for artists and a safe space for fans, and just kind of like rewriting the culture of what can happen, as an independent artist, and kind of, creating your own fanship, creating your own deals and structures and just all the things. Like, there's something to be learned from that. You know what I mean? And I'm never not trying to not learn. You know what I mean? Like I used Even.biz as a direct to consumer platform because of seeing that he used it. You know what I mean? And saying like, let me see if it works for him, it may be able to work for me too.
How has it worked for you?
Man, it's been great. Super as a leader, leader of the free world, for R&B and soul music. Direct to consumer has been great. Just this last project, my most recent project, Quiet Storm, Lover, Two Mate. We're approaching the 30,000 Kmart.
For real?
Yeah, and what I just made in the last, how long the project been out? It's been a month now, so it's been 30 days.
30,000 sold?
Yeah, 30,000 earned.
Earned,
yeah. That's only,
that's good.
And I still haven't cracked 1,000 people that went over there to support direct to consumer. So that kind of gives you a gauge that on what the super fans are spending and what people are spending for the project to make 30 grand. That you can touch in real time in a month. You'd have to, the amount of streams that you'd have to do that, and then waiting to have it rationed out by a third-party distribution company, and just those days are over where you can go right direct to consumer now.
What you think about Universal buying them?
Well, the Universal didn't buy them.
What happened?
So that's a misconception.
Oh, okay, please break this down.
I think when people just saw Universal and they saw the word partnership, it's similar to like a La Russell situation where, if you know the inner working of the deal, he still has ownership of the masters.
That's right.
They don't make a decision without him, being involved. You know what I mean? He was able to structure that deal. They need him as much as
he needs. Yeah, they need each other.
And even in the I saw a recent interview right after he did the deal, and one of the things he mentioned what I thought was interesting of how you get a song on the radio in heavy rotation or whatever.
So I saw that clip going around.
Yeah, and the whole thing was, I wish he had known. I mean, you ain't had to sign a Rock Nation to do that.
Yeah, you didn't.
That aspect.
He could have called Ron.
Yeah, you could have had. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
There's people you can call.
Yeah, there's people you can call. You know what I mean? But I get it though. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but if my man can't get him on the Super Bowl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or the fact that it's one thing to be on the station in your city, it's another thing to be on 50 stations at one time the next day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So so there's an advantage to it. I think people confuse the fact of being independent with the fact that there's nothing wrong with being as independent, but still doing strategic partnerships. And I'm sure that's probably not the first partnership that he's done, and it's to get to the space of where he's at, right? But yeah, as an independent artist, you're supposed to be able to do partnerships, and you're supposed to be able to grow, and you're supposed to be able to do business with some of the best and bright, brilliant minds of today. You know what I'm saying? In the music industry. And I'm a firm believer that iron sharpens iron. So, everybody had their path to run. You know what I mean? I've been independent for 16 years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, when you said that last night, I was shocked. I was just like, God damn, I had no clue.
A lot of times people thought I've been on a major the entire time, or move. Everything that I've done is I built it with a very small team of people who been loyal to me. I've been loyal to them. We figure it out. We bump heads. We work. We crash out together. We ride together. You know what I mean? And stand 10 toes down together. And this is the result of that too, because there's no I in the word team. So it is definitely a team that I have. That's been assembled over time. With fine tuning and tweaking.
Who on this team, or how did this call come for you to be on this Floetry Reunited tour? Yo, when I saw this, I was just like, holy. And then as me and Ron was in here last night, we talking, and I was just like, I don't remember the last time I've seen them together. Floetry at all. He was like, oh, you haven't? And I was just like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then to see you, Floetry, Tidra, Chill Vibes, Active, that whole...
Yeah, I want to say yes. Yeah, I was going to say the Active is on there.
Yeah, so I'm looking like, God, and then y'all had to add the show to Baltimore. Y'all had to add shows because it sold out so crazy.
Yeah.
Who handled that? Where'd the call come from? How do we prepare for a tour like this, man?
Oh man, we stay ready, so we ain't got to get ready. I typically rehearse once a week, twice a week. You know what I mean? I am curating something special just for this. I like to change up the show constantly just to keep it fresh, because I do tour so much and move around so much. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great experience. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's definitely gonna be euphoric. I'm the only male on the show. You know what I mean? So I get to be the man eye candy. And I get to be a perfect date night too situation too. You know what I mean? So
I'm definitely eyeing this DC April 22nd show.
Yeah.
I will be calling somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sure the tickets are probably sold out by now.
So look, anything ranging from you know, from single ladies to the couples, you know what I mean, to the brother that's on the prowl. You know what I mean? Like,
just in here looking.
So whether you bring sand to the beach, you on date night time, you on girls' night out time, a time is going to be had. One thing for sure.
When they called you about that, what was your reaction?
I was, you know, it's to say yes to her. You
like,
work out the business and say yes. It's pretty simple.
Work out the business and say yes. It's that simple. It is absolutely that simple. Now, we getting a big award tonight, man. The Whammies. Salute to the Whammies, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Whammies.
What this mean to you, man? That's a real DC situation right there, man.
It's you know, when it's from home and it's amongst your peers and you know, the music business at home, it means it's a little something that's extra special. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I feel like it's equally fulfilling and appreciated. I appreciate this just like, you know, back in 2012, receiving the key to the city and a proclamation, you know, in my name. You know, in Washington, D.C., they made it, you know, is forever. May 5th is forever Raheem DeVaughn Day in D.C.
That's fire.
You know what I mean? But
where we at that day?
But
okay, that day is open.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll be on the road that day though. I think I'll be.
Y'all don't have a show?
No, I think I'll be in Atlanta on my birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
Yeah. May 1st. Yeah, well, the week of, yeah.
Atlanta's May 1st.
Yeah,
I'm looking May 6th is New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, and I think depending on which, I think because they've been adding dates, so I
Atlanta's
believe,
probably gonna get another date.
Yeah, I believe I got a date on the 5th. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, like, you know, I'm excited about being on the tour. I'm excited about delivering, you know, and the fact that I'll be, you know, be live band, it's just all of that.
Man, live band and all that.
Yeah.
You ever thought about a go-go album?
Yeah, I'm working on one, man. I have a go-go band, the Crank Crusaders.
Oh yeah, I do know about that.
So we actually have our first Sunday event that we do at the Tacoma Station every first Sunday of the month, unless I'm touring. You know, so we'll be probably taking off for the month of May. But we, you know, this first Sunday, which I believe is the 4th of April, we will be, you know, at the Tacoma Station Tavern, and it's a good time, man. We do like 2 sets, and it's been great, man. It's been great to see how it's received, and you know, we got a nice catalog of original songs. We got a new single that we're gonna be dropping soon called Tamarine. Yeah, so I think that's gonna have things jumping for the summer out here locally.
You've been in this game a long time. What's the craziest thing you've seen with the either with the fan side or just with just your personal side? Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen?
I mean, a couple weeks ago, somebody's paid $1,000 on Even.biz for a 10-song body of work, you know, called The Quiet Storm Lover to May Un. You know
That's
what I mean?
tough.
Yeah, I think like crazy thing I've seen is the business model of Even.biz. Like, had I had something like this 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 15 years ago, any artist of my caliber, any independent, and it's available to any independent artist. So, you know, fans and music lovers, they see and hear the finished result. They don't see the long nights, the sleepless, you know, the sleepless nights, the early mornings, the money that's invested, how hard we go, the discipline involved, like all the things necessary to get to where we need to get to. And that's just not just related to the business I'm in. That's anybody that's in a business that's successful, or you wake up and say, I want to be the best videographer in the world. I want to be the best radio person. You know what I mean? Like personality, you know what I mean? I waited 20 years, more than that. I waited my entire life to do radio. I always wanted to do radio. I grew up listening to Melvin Lindsay, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So simultaneously to have this body of work and to say, hey, here's my 10th album, and to deliver a classic album of what I've delivered, you know, and then of course like going out on this tour, but I got the #1 nighttime music show, urban music show in DC, you know, in the DMV.
That's right.
You know, being the voice and radio personality of the original Quiet Storm right now too. So that you know, all those things align, you know. So I think to be able to that would be the second thing, the craziest thing that I've seen is the fact that like you can dream something and manifest it, speak life on it, speak it to life, and have it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you got to be ready for it though. Like when they say,
you gotta be ready.
Be careful what you ask for.
You gotta be ready.
Like, I'm in a place in my life that everything I've wanted, like, I gotta. It's now it's mastering the art of manifesting, because it's one thing to obtain it, it's another thing to keep it. You know what I mean?
Has there been a record that didn't come out that you feel like might have changed your career, might have changed your life?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting on a couple of those.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, Quiet Storm Lovers is I'm just scratching the surface.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this new project, the new body of work, the way it feels, the way it sounds. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. You know what I mean? So
20 years later, that's
yeah.
crazy.
So absolutely, like, this is a career path for me. Like, the main thing is just praying for more time and health, which is the greatest wealth. To see it, to enjoy it too. You know what I mean?
Is there anybody on that bucket list, as far as collaborations, that you haven't checked off on yet?
Oh, it's a plethora of people I want to work with. We'll get there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll get there. I'm down to work with whomever. Like, I probably say, like, bucket list right now though. I'd love to do a record with both, either or both of them and I worked with Jill before. Like, there's a tune I have called Nobody Wins a War that Jill is on, and a lot of other soul and R&B artists. I was in great company on that record. Check that out, especially the fact that we in a stone cold war right now. But yeah, I would love to do something that's more, that's intimate and like sexy and all the things that me and Jill are known for, and poetic, that we do together. I would love to do a record with Jasmine Sullivan.
Woo.
And I've toured with Jill. I've done Crazy City tour with Jill many moons ago. But I would love to do that again, or like, tour with an artist like a Jasmine Sullivan. Like, they probably like on my top of my bucket list.
Jill and Jasmine.
Yeah, and
Philly.
And I won't say that I think it's unattainable, but at the top of the list, I would put Sade. But you know what I mean? That's a she's known for declining a lot of different.
Why you think she declined so much?
I don't know. I mean, cause she can.
Got that right? Cause she can. It's that simple.
She's Sade. I mean, anybody can. So it's like she can.
Listen, she one of them names that's, it's almost like, it's like a ghost. It's like, you hear it, but like, you ain't got too many people that's really seen.
And she could pop out when she want to pop out and disappear when she want to disappear, and we gonna be here for it, right there for it.
That freedom is different. That's a different kind of freedom right there, man.
Yeah.
But when you got that kind of record, you put out that kind of music, and you work that type of legacy, you can do that. Listen, man, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You got my man in town. Then Camden flew from Houston. I'm glad he made it to the DMV, man. He said, listen, I got to come get this done. We got some work to do.
Nah, for sure.
We got some work to do, man. And I'm going to catch y'all at one of these shows.
Absolutely, man.
Don't listen, one of these shows, and I thank you for this project.
Absolutely. I got to come back and hang out, man, anytime. I'm right here in the area.
Now, are we doing the event for this 20 years of this love experience?
I mean, yeah, we kind of doing it. That's what, all of this is like, we are definitely celebrating the 20 years of the love experience. Like, I initially wanted to do something different, you know what I mean? And when I started getting into the business of it, legalities and the ownership of the master, which, hasn't reverted back to me just yet.
Oh, okay.
And just all the things, I had to go another route. So, I'm thankful for the overwhelming love that I'm getting on, the 20th anniversary edition of You, you know what I mean? But that wasn't an ego move. That was a business move. Like, I own the master now. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Salute.
So it's once we record it becomes a new master. So,
that's right.
Which means ownership. Which
I know
means
they hate that.
Yeah. So I mean, hate it or love it. It is what it is. So there will be a love experience revisited. Project. In the near future.
We need that. Listen, I'm for it. That album right there, like I said, that bring back memories. That bring back memories. And I was 22. Yeah, I was fresh out. I had just moved to DC. I was just like, I was a young in love, and I'm just like, But that album right there was, it was one of them one.
Word.
And it's still one of them one.
Word.
Yeah, so, man, listen, salute, keep doing your thing. Congrats on all the success.
Thank you.
Listen, so this was kind of last minute. We usually give you shoes, but we just gonna give you a gift card today, man. Yeah, we just gonna go to the store, grab a little something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something to go work out in or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it need be, man. Just we here, and you know, you gotta start back when everybody in the building.
I want to do a sneaker with y'all. I think that'd be dope.
That'd be dope too.
Yeah, we gonna figure that out.
A sneaker workshop.
Yeah,
we could do
we gonna
something.
figure that out.
You got a favorite shoe?
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm a Jordan guy.
You a Jordan guy?
I'm definitely a Jordan guy. I'm definitely also a dunk.
You're a dunk guy.
Dunk guy, yeah.
See, I thought you was gonna say, so you're a little different. You know, you DMV. I'm thinking you're gonna say like a New Balance or something like that.
I mean, definitely.
You know, like Laurent, you don't know, it's a war with New Balance between Baltimore and DC.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a straight out war.
I'm definitely a New Balance guy too. Like, I mean, I got, you know, I'm a, you know, but yeah, I got some ideas.
Okay,
some things
you got some ideas.
Sure,
Listen,
yeah,
we gonna sit down and chop it up.
Say again? Yeah, and then Vans. I'm a Vans guy.
Vans guy.
You know what I mean?
I can see you in some Vans.
Yeah,
I got
you can throw that. You can still rock that with the suit.
Yeah, you can. You
know?
absolutely can.
Any of those options, you can finesse with the suit.
Listen, we carry all of them, so we can make something straight. They all call here.
Yeah.
They all need DTLR, and we all need them.
And there it
so
is.
yeah, we can slide Raheem in there somewhere. And do a little something for the female customers and all that. We got a lot of events coming up, and we have a lot of women that's a part of the culture.
Yeah.
So we gonna figure something out.
There it is.
We gonna figure something out, man. Listen, I thank you for coming here. I thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
As always, man, let the people know where to follow you at.
Oh man, you know, Instagram Raheem_DeVaughn, Facebook.com/Raheem DeVaughn. I'm all the places I need to be. My main website is RaheemDeVaughnOnline.global. Once again, that's RaheemDeVaughnOnline.global. And through that website, you can find me at all the places you need to be able to find me. Gentle reminder: the new album, Quiet Storm Lover Tume Un, is out. If you DM me on Instagram or send me a message on Facebook, direct message on Facebook, I will personally send you the link where you can buy the art from the artist. You know, that's the hashtag for 2026 and beyond. You know, so buy from me direct. As I'm, you know, embark on the road to. The goal is 100K.
100K?
I mean? Independently.
Let's go.
You know,
we gonna get there
with the super fans out there buying the project. You know what I mean? So, yeah, get it how you get it and enjoy it.
Listen, man, thank you for being here. Make sure y'all go cop that album, and trust me, like I told y'all, it is a vibe. It is a vibe. It's good music, and you need that when you out with the ladies and all that. Like you need that. Like fellas, I'm telling you, we needed this album. Trust me. I was getting vibes in there last night at the event. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I had a little something in there with me last night, but yeah. She came and she was very excited. She wanted to do some content with you, but she didn't get to you in time. The line was crazy, but yeah, we gonna make sure we set that up later on. All right, let's keep these vibes going, man. Fadam got the Juice, DTLR Radio. You know what's up. Let's go.